Why do all successes look like they happened overnight? We know the world only sees the surface, the final reveal, never the seasons of silence and doubts. And yet, we all fantasize of that moment, the chance to say, I've made it, to speak it into the ears of others, knowing the celebration itself lasts no more than 15 seconds. But what if the act to announce your plans and to be seen is the very thing holding you back? Stay with me because today I'll share with you the hidden law of silence. Success loves your silence, not because it's mysterious or a secret, but because silence is where real growth takes place. Success is like a seed you plant in the most fertile soil in the world, your own brain. It doesn't post about itself. It doesn't demand validation. And when the time is right, it breaks through the surface, undeniable and impossible to ignore. But here's the paradox. Most people can't stand the silence of being with their own thoughts. They feel compelled to announce their plans, to tell everyone around them, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm building, and here's how I'll get there. Why is that? Because it feels good. You get recognition, a form of applause and approval, the tiny dopamine hits of look at me, I'm on my way. But here is the trap. The more you broadcast your plans, the less energy you have left to execute them. I've seen it play out again and again. Players with big ideas, real fire and genuine ambition, dreams that could change their lives, destroyed in the open air. Why? Because they exposed them too early. It's like planning a surprise attack and screaming, I'm coming from the left side. Now those dreams got hit with cold winds of doubt, criticism, and distractions before the attack was even ready. That's why I'm giving you the spiel today. Success loves your silence. So keep your plans close to your chest. It's not the words that move the world. It's the focus of your action that leads to results. Every time you talk about your next move, you release energy, and a little bit of the fire leaks out. That fire is sacred. It's better stoked in silence, inside of your own mind, than deployed into the world too soon. Because when you announce your plans, something dangerous happens. You create the illusion of progress. You say, I'm starting a business. You say, I'm starting a YouTube. Or you say, I'm dropping 20 pounds. And people smile, they nod, and some even clap. And for you, it feels good. Your brain registers approval, and you tell yourself, nice, I'm going after it. And for a moment, it feels like you've already achieved something, but you haven't done anything yet. And this is where your urgency drops, and the hard work that actually makes the dream real gets postponed. This is how many people kill their dreams without even knowing it. It's not many times that people fail, but the comfort of their good intentions state exactly that, good intentions. Now, some players will argue, but isn't it good to share? Am I not manifesting my goals by speaking them into existence? Doesn't talking about my goals hold me accountable? Well, accountability has its place, but here's the truth. Not everyone deserves access to your blueprint, and not everyone can hold your vision without infecting it. Some people will doubt you. They won't say it outright, but you will feel it. That shadow of skepticism hanging in the air. And if you're not careful, their shadow becomes your shadow. Now you start second guessing yourself. You start asking, maybe they're right. Maybe this isn't possible. Maybe I'm not who I thought I was. And that's why you must share selectively, strategically, and at the right time. Protect your vision in the early stages like a gardener protecting young plants from the frost. You don't drag fertile seeds into a storm and expect them to thrive. When you share only with those who will nurture, not step on the seeds you just planted. Your mentors or trusted allies, people who truly want to see you win. And even then, give them only what's needed. Never let your dream become a spectacle before it's strong enough to stand. Silence gives you the element of surprise, the power of letting your work speak for you. Imagine building for months, even years, in silence. Nobody knows what's coming. And then one day, you drop the finished product. The goal complete. The achievement undeniable. The body, the mindset, the synergy. The impact hits 10 times harder than if you had been teasing the world along the way. Because words can build expectations, but silence builds anticipation. And results shut every mouth in the room. I remember a young guy who was full of ideas, endless plans, endless ambition, and he couldn't stop talking about it. Every chance he got, I'm going to build this. I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to change everything. People listened politely at first. Months went by. Nothing happened. The more he talked, the less they believed. And eventually, he even stopped believing in himself. The fire that once burned bright had been spoken into smoke. But I also knew a songwriter. He had a vision for his craft, but he didn't announce it. He didn't preach about it. He just wrote, he studied, and he adjusted. Season after season, silently stacking his effort. And when the music dropped, he shocked everyone. Nobody saw it coming. And when they asked how he did it, he gave them the truest answer of all. I worked when nobody was watching. That's the law of silence. The less you speak, the more energy you save for action. The less you seek applause, the more confidence you build in yourself. And the less you broadcast prematurely, the more control you have over your own narrative. You have to understand that your dreams are too valuable to share with people who abandon their own. And it's understanding that results will always speak louder than your words. How many times have you shared a goal and felt the motivation slip away the moment you said it out loud? And how many times have you let someone else's opinion tilt your compass off course? Every time you speak too soon, you give away power. But here's the good news. You can take it back by choosing action over distractions, by guarding your vision, and by letting success be the only voice that represents you. Because the world is full of distractions, isn't it? Everybody has something to say, and most of it won't help you on your journey. Listen closely. When you share your dreams for free, the price to achieve them becomes something you can't afford. You open the door to criticism, you open the door to doubt, and you even open the door to envy. And these forces can derail even the strongest ambitions if you're not careful. Think about it. How often do people respond to your big idea with pure belief, pure encouragement? Sometimes. But more often, they respond with caution, skepticism, and subtle discouragement. Are you sure that's a good idea? Oh, that sounds risky. I know someone who tried that and they failed. Harmless on the surface, but those words are seeds of doubt. And doubt is the virus that keeps you locked in on the path you don't even want to walk. And if you're in doubt, you can't create your own. And it's not just the doubters. You have to guard against envy too. People who hate you for your ambition because it shines a light on the work they haven't done. They won't always say it. Sometimes it's a tone, a look, or a question loaded with negativity. But the nuance is the same. It's draining your energy and slowing your momentum. Even the well-meaning advisors or so-called professionals can throw you off. They want to help, but they end up drowning you in conflicting opinions and half-baked suggestions. Too many voices, too many distractions, and your once clear vision gets scattered into a dozen directions. That's why discretion is power. When you keep your plans to yourself, you protect your focus. This is what I want you to do. Create a mental safe for your dreams. A space where they can grow in the right conditions without the interference of the virus. And here's a key. Momentum is built in silence. Every consistent action you take stacks into rhythm. One rep fuels the next. One day reinforces the next. And suddenly, your progress compounds. But when you talk too soon, you break the rhythm. You shift from taking action to explaining your grand plan, from doing the work to justifying the behavior. It's like driving a car and stopping every few minutes to show people your map. You lose speed and you lose your flow. What you lose is the synergy of purpose that comes from staying in motion. I lived this myself. Back when my life was a mess, I told a friend, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna change and I'm gonna get fit and turn my whole life around. And he gave me that look, the half smile with a skeptic tone. Really? You You could smell the doubt in the air and you could feel it in the room. And if I failed, he would be the first to say, "You see, I told you." Not with hate, but with the negative tone disguised as friendship. So I quickly learned I couldn't keep explaining myself. I couldn't keep talking about what I was going to do. I had to lock into the player's vision and just act out of instinct. So I started hitting the gym exactly when I said I would. Eating the meals I said I'd eat even when everyone else ordered junk. And when people asked me to chill or to not be as focused on my goals, to relax a little, I had to shut that down too, because I knew what it really meant. It wasn't about hanging out. It was about testing whether I'd fall back into the old version of me. And if I failed, I wouldn't just prove them right, but I would strip me of my own respect. Because deep down, people don't respect your words. They respect your actions. So I stayed silent. I didn't announce progress. I didn't look for applause. I just kept stacking the reps and just kept showing up when nobody was watching. And slowly, the results started to show. My body changed. My energy changed. And the same people who once doubted, they started asking for advice. And that's the law of silence. When you talk too much, you dilute your energy. And when you act in silence, you build undeniable momentum. And when the results show, they shut every mouth in the room that once doubted you. The same principle applies to your goals. By keeping them private, you're not being secretive. You're being strategic. You're giving yourself the space to grow, to adapt, to fail quietly and recover without pressure. And when the right time comes to reveal what you've been building, it lands harder. It carries real weight because results are real in a way words never will be. So here's a challenge. The next time you set a goal, resist the urge to announce it. Instead, channel that energy into action. Collect the right information. Make a plan. Take the first step. But please remember this. The goal isn't to impress others with your intentions. It's to impress yourself with your accomplishments. There's something liberating about moving in silence. It frees you from the weight of the outside expectations. It lets you operate on your own terms. Because the moment you announce your plans, you step under a spotlight. Suddenly, people are watching, waiting, and judging. And that pressure can crush you, especially early on when your path is still forming. Because success is never a straight line. It's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It's trial and it's error. Dying at a level and respawning at the checkpoint. But under the public eye, every setback feels magnified. Every delay looks like failure. And every misstep becomes a point of criticism. But here's the hidden gift. When you're not seeking approval, you reconnect to your own instincts. You learn to trust your own judgment and to rely on your own compass instead of outsourcing your decisions to other people's opinions. Every time you share your plans, you invite distractions. People start asking questions and they start offering suggestions. They throw their own little ideas into the mix. Here's a simple rule. Don't take advice from people who can't do what you are doing. Focus is one of the most valuable resources you have. It's what allows you to channel your energy into a single point. And the best way to protect that focus is to limit the number of voices that have access to your plans. The fewer people in your ear, the sharper your player vision becomes. And the fewer opinions you invite, the easier it is to stay locked in on your own path. So ask yourself this. What would it look like if you applied this to your own life? Imagine starting a project or finishing the one you're working on, the business, your transformation, your personal goal, and telling no one. Imagine working in silence, day after day, without seeking applause or approval. How much further would you go without the weight of outside expectations? And how much faster could you move without stopping to explain yourself? That's the essence of silence. It gives you freedom, it gives you control, and it gives your actions space to grow into something undeniable. This is the path that makes success inevitable. Understanding the value of your energy and protecting the fragile beginnings of your dreams until they're strong enough to stand on their own. Because every time you choose silence, you make a statement, not to the world, but to yourself. You can look yourself into the mirror and say, I trust me. I don't need applause to start. I don't need permission to move. And I don't need anyone to validate what I already know in my soul. And here's the beautiful twist of the dark fantasy we have about success. When you finally succeed, you will inspire others far more than if you had just told them what you planned to do. Your actions will become the proof, and your results will become the speech no words could deliver. The next time you set a goal, resist the urge to broadcast it. Don't feed the hungry crowd. Just collect the right information, make the plan, and take the step. Follow the inner voice. It's the only one that matters, because the spiel never dies.